Well, hey there, people of YouTube, and how are you now? Well, it's currently 4:30 in the afternoon, and I just woke up. You're probably saying, Adam, you're a lazy bastard. Why the hell did you wake up at 4:30? What's wrong with you? Well, nothing's wrong with me. It's just, going this Thursday, I start my night shifts again. The old 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. And, it's nice to get your body back into the rhythm of sleeping. Did I not have another Tim Hortons coffee up there? Found it! Anywho, I'm making myself a coffee to get awake. I got a plan for today. Nothing too exciting. See, when I'm not gaming with the guys, I kind of want to play video games still, right? And the thing is the workstation that I use, that Dell Precision T3500 with the dual Xeon processors, the 64 gigs of RAM, and the GeForce 960, well, she don't cut it. And see, when I bought that computer, guys, my buddy, I should give them guys some more water. The dog and cat are running out of beverage. Better hook them up with some nice, cool, delicious sink beverage. But anyway, when I bought that computer, it was never intended to be a gaming rig. But she was cheap, right? It was like a $400 dual processor workstation that should be able to kick the crap out of rendering, and that was the whole concept of why I bought it. But the video card it came with was a piece of crap. It came with a NVIDIA Quattro, I think it was called the 295 or 285, I can't remember, I gotta find it. Not that I need it, but any hoozle. Feed stupid here because he's probably hungry. He's looking at me all weird and probably gonna bite my ankles, who knows. Anywho, the whole reason why I bought it was for video rendering, so that I could have a computer dedicated to making videos while I had a computer dedicated to gaming. Because sometimes I want to play games while I was rendering, or I can just set up a whole bunch of videos, cue them to render, and then just not use that computer anymore. Well, seeing how video rendering isn't exactly something I do a lot of these days, I kind of want to do a little swap-a-rooney. Worst part is my buddy bought a computer like the one I have, except for he has the quad-core Xeon processors, the 2.8 gigahertz. So his is a little bit faster than mine, but he only has 16 cores, 16 virtual cores, 8 real cores on the processors, because he's got the 2 quads. Anyway, I'm repeating myself. Hey, bread tag. Anyway, so what I'm thinking about doing is I want to take the workstation and move it to where the XPS 8300 is, then move the XPS 8300 to where the workstation is, because an i7 2600 even can game a hell of a lot better than a dual Xeon processor based system, because let's face it, video games nowadays barely use multi-thread, and all they want is one super fast core. And what's the difference between the Xeon, like my workstation, and the i7 2600 is the 2600 is running at 3.4 gigahertz and will turbo boost to 4 gigahertz, where the Xeon processor runs at 2.53 gigahertz and doesn't turbo boost worth a shit. So playing games like Ark, Grand Theft Auto, PUBG, it's clippy, it's laggy, the graphics suck. Even with a 960 in there, it just can't. That and the 960 is kind of struggling because it's sitting on an old bridge for PCI Express. It's not running on a 3.0 PCI Express bridge. It's running on a PCI Express. It's running on PCI Express. I think it's 2.0 on that board, which shouldn't theoretically do a lot, but it's not making matters any better. So what I ended up doing, people, I ended up making my coffee. Let's head upstairs. The first thing I need to do before anything is I use the XPS 8300 to manage the TeamSpeak TeamSpeak server and my file server. Okay, it basically handles the media and all that shit that I store, as well as any drive images and software installations that I've purchased on the internet and downloaded and stored somewhere. So it's all stored locally on a portable hard drive plugged into that computer. Those hard drives are USB 3.0. Currently, the workstation does not have 3.0. Neither did the XPS 8300. Back in the day, I first bought this card. Okay. I don't know who makes it. There isn't much of an identifier on it. You know, you look it over, it's pretty basic. If you're wondering why there's a thing sticking out, it's because you need Molex. And, well, the Workstation doesn't have Molex, so I just preemptively hooked this up like this. Now, the only identifier on the back was this. Well, when I first got the card, I looked up SD PEX 2000 or 20,080. Couldn't find nothing. Looked up the serial number, couldn't find nothing. The disc it came with was one of those, you know, half-size DVDs. And when I ran it in the computer, it came back and said the driver was corrupt, so I wasn't able to install it. So what I ended up doing was, this here card was like $8.99 or something. It was cheap. Pretty sure I got it from Newegg. So what I ended up doing was buying another card, and that's in the XPS 8300, and it's got 5 out the back and none on the internal. So here's my battle plan. I finally managed to find a driver for this thing. It's made by a company called Symbia, S-Y-M-B-I-A or some shit. I got a driver for it. I'm going to install it in the computer. There's one PCI Express 8x port in there. I'm going to ram it into that. Hope she works. Fire it up. And see what we can see. And here's hoping. The end result is that this thing just works, because I need these USB 3.0 ports to run the hard drives when I move it over, and I'm going to be moving the TeamSpeak server off of the XPS 8300 onto this rig, and basically any other service I have running off of that computer onto this rig, because I think I'm going to reformat the XPS 8300 and set it up for, you know, light office gaming when I don't feel like sitting behind me at the gaming station. That's my plan. That's my battle plan. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest, guys. I've already filmed a video like this. Not where I've installed the card, but the video was I was looking for this wire. But after editing the video, and I kind of got negative in the video, I decided to delete the video because, you know what? I don't want to start making videos like I did back in the day where things pissed me off and I ranted about them on ScrewTube. What I want to do, I kind of want to do like a fresh start, but not really, because, well, you know, it took me a long time to get to where I am on YouTube. But what I mean is, you know, I had these 3 months off or whatever it was, because I left at the end of August, and I'm coming back in the beginning of December. So that's what, September, October, November. Yeah, we'll go with 3 months. And over at VidMe, it kind of woke me up a bit, you know, and made me think, like, who cares what people think? You know, it's your life, you got to live it, and other people are going to always have comments on the way you live your life and try and tell you how to live it the way they want you to live it. You just got to ignore the bullshit and hammer down and have a good time. Like, that's what I need to do. Ignore the bullshit. So that's the reason why I deleted that video, is because I was letting things get to me in the video and I was talking about them. You know, and I posted on VidMe a little while ago, tough times that I'm going through. And let's just say, you know, money is tight right now. Might as well come clean with you on this before we do the install. I'm going to just, you know, summarize that video. Basically, I explained how buying the truck, which, you know, I love my truck, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love that thing. I could drive that thing right to the day that it's time to put her into the ground and make it into dinosaur fuel. But I'm kind of getting screwed on the truck, boys. And it's probably nobody's fault but mine. I'm pretty sure on that. Basically, what's happening is when back in April, when I was looking for a new truck, I guess you could say, a thing I always do right away off the hop is call the insurance company and say, hey, look, I'm looking at this vehicle here, 2017 Ford F-150 XL, regular cab, long box, V8 engine, here's the VIN. What's going to be my insurance cost? They come back to me and tell me, you're going to have to pay $143 a month insurance. And I was like, okay, well, I was paying $119 on the G6. That was just PLPD, property, personal liability property damage. That's what we call it here in Canada. So like if I hit somebody and they sue me for $2 million, it's covered. If I lose control of my car and fly through someone's house and destroy their house, it's covered, so on and so forth. Only thing that's not covered is fire, theft, and I can't remember what else. Oh, collision. But, you know, when you have an old car that's only worth $750 or a Happy Meal at McDonald's, why would you care about collision? If it gets written off, they're not going to give you anything for it, and you're going to pay a premium for no reason. Fire and theft, well, if it burns to the ground, you're going to have to pay a $500 deductible if it's a $750 car. So you're going to pay, what, $500 so they can give you $250 back? Like, come on. It doesn't make sense, right? So, yeah. I decided, okay, you know what? That's not that bad. It's only $20 more than the G6. I can totally afford that. So we go get the truck. And I get my first insurance statement for $180. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, whoa. You guys, this is no longer $20 more than before. Now it's $60 more than before. What's really going on? So I call them up, and they explain that, and I've talked about this many times in the past, insurance companies in Ontario, well, I don't know, maybe in Canada-wide, are pretty dicked. Let's say you buy a car midterm, like I did. You have to pay the insurance on that car for the time you didn't own it. So the beginning, basically they charge you from the beginning of your policy, which for me was in November 1st. So they charge you from the beginning of your policy in November 1st, all the way up to the month you bought it, and then so on. So they take like November, December, January, February, March, April. So those 6 months, they tack that on to the new premium. But they also, what they did was they, so basically it was $60, or it was going to be $20 difference. So what they did was they tagged the $20 difference onto the new bill, but it didn't make sense because it wasn't $20 difference. It actually made it $180, which was like $60 difference. So I didn't understand it, and I called them up, and they confused me with friggin' accounting. I hate accounting. I hate it so much. So in the end, I was like, well, whatever. I just got to make it to November, and then I'll be down, and it should drop as well because it's a new year, and usually insurance goes down after that. Usually. November hits. Paperwork comes in. I do the math and go, what in the frig? Now they're dinging me $210 a month for insurance on the Ford F-150. Base model, keep in mind. I'm like, what's really going on? So, back to the insurance company I call. What the hell's going on? Why is my insurance $210 a month? Well, they look it up and go, oh, it's because you have theft on here. Theft and fire, comprehensive, if you will. And these trucks are highly sought after in Toronto. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, well, they're stolen a lot in Toronto. Then I'm like, well, really, what are you talking about? They're like, well, in Toronto, people like to steal them. I said, you don't understand. I live in North Bay, not in Toronto. It's a 4-hour difference. What's really going on? Why are you charging me a premium because a city 4 hours away has people who like to steal these trucks? Like, it doesn't make sense. And she goes, well, you know, you could travel to Toronto. I said, I never go to Toronto. Last time I was in Toronto was back in what? Back when I sold the Sierra. 2000, I bought that thing in what? 2010? And then I sold it in 2011 because I was sick of getting reamed out by the ex because, you got 3 cars in the driveway and I got none. It's not fair. And it's like, well, you could take a car. You want to take the truck to work? Go ahead. You want to take the G6 to work? Go ahead. But touch the Trans Am and, you know, we're gonna have issues. You know, nobody drives TA but me. But yeah. So yeah, just ridiculous. Anyway. So they're charging me $210 a month. And work, don't get me wrong, I still love the job, guys. I love the job big time. It's a great gig. It's not easy work. It's pretty challenging, and I think that's why I like it, is because it's not like how Ontario was. Like, I mastered Ontario within a year. And this place here, I'm still learning stuff. I'm still finding things. I'm still learning tricks because, unlike Ontario, things are always changing, always evolving. So it always keeps me on my toes to try and learn new technologies and get ahead of the game, which is pretty impossible because every time you're on top of the mountain, they end up, you know, putting a bigger mountain on top of the mountain, so you got to climb more, which is great because, you know, when you're challenged at work, you tend to not get bored, and I like that. I don't like being bored at work. Like at Ontario, I was bored all the time. Going into the office was a monotonous routine because the job was so easy. This, every time I get a job or a task, if you will, it's always okay, how am I going to screw this pig, and then go about it. Love the job, but the problem is they're cutting hours because times are getting slow. It always gets slow in the summer and around Christmas because people just love to burn their vacations. And the other problem is I never mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it now. I'm on contract, people. I'm not a full-time employee with the company. I don't have benefits there. I don't have a pension there. I am literally getting paid every week to work anywhere from 20 to 40 hours at this position. We do the same work as the full-time unionized employees. The only difference is because we're on contract, this is the reason why they can make us do the after-hours stuff. Because on, like, for instance, last week, I worked 51 hours. In a real-world environment, if you were to work at a job, say part-time or full-time, 51 hours, anything over 44 hours is automatically overtime. This is not the case with when you're working for a temp agency or a contract company. They can put a rate in the contract stating that anything over 44 hours is not deemed as overtime. And by you signing on the dotted line, you agree to omit the rules of the labor laws. It's perfectly legal. The moment you sign on the dotted line, that means you're now saying that 44 hours over will not be overtime. But it also gives them the ability to say, we don't need you tomorrow, you're not coming in, and there's nothing you can do about it except for not get paid for that day. Also, if you call in sick, you don't get paid for that day. If you get sent home early, you don't get paid for that time. And if they call you into work and then decide last minute not to keep you, you don't get paid the 3 hours. Until now. Well, I should say until April 18th, or April 1st, 2018. They've just passed a new law in Ontario. A lot of Ontarians probably heard about it and bitched about the first part of it. The 15 and Fairness Law. Or bill, I should say, Bill 148. And what Bill 148 is, you guys remember a while back when I went to that thing at the Voyager about $15 an hour minimum wage, and I talked about it. It was with the Ontario Federation of Labor. Well, anyway, that's passed. That's happening. Come January 1st, minimum wage goes from $11.40 up to $14 an hour. I know I said $15, right? What's really going on? In January 1st, 2019, it goes up to $15 an hour. However, the fairness part is what affects me. Because I work for a temp agency or a contract agency, as you will, part of the fairness deal is employees who are basically doing the same job, part-time, temporary, seasonal, and contract employees who are doing the same exact job as a full-time unionized employee deserve the same rate of pay. So right now I make about, I want to say maybe 5/8 of what a full-time employee there makes. Come April 1st, that's changing. They're going to start paying us the exact same rate based on how many years served there. So I'll have 1 year in, so I'll have the 1 year raise in. We're going to get paid the proper amount, which is going to solve all my financial problems, which is great. Because right now I'm hemorrhaging cash, which is why I've started doing something really crazy. I've been actually, at first, like if I was working my old shift, the Monday to Friday from 8:30 to 4:30 or the 9:15 to 5:15, I can tell you right now, I would have got a second job. I would have grabbed another job somewhere, even if it was like Best Buy or a gas station pumping gas, anything at all, just to get more money to buy me time. But because I work this after-hour shift, that's not a second job's not even a possibility. Because, 1 week you work 7 to 3. The next week you're working 11 to 7. The next week you're working another 11 to 7. Then you're on 3 to 11. It's like you flop around so much, you could not coordinate a proper schedule with another employer. They would just get fed up with you and leave you. The other problem is after hours, what they didn't tell us is, instead, like, we don't get paid our lunches. You get a 45-minute unpaid lunch. A lot of places are like that too. You're probably going to leave in the comments, oh yeah, they don't pay my lunch at work either. That's common. It's true. At Ontario, the lunches were paid for. We had a 45-minute lunch, and that seasucker was paid for. So when you worked 8 hours, you got 8 hours of pay. It was great. But it's not paid for here. So in a 40-hour week, you got 36 and a quarter hours. When you're on after hours, your average hours worked is 33 and a third hours. So you're losing 3 hours a week. I did the math. It's 16 hours a month. Oh, sorry, 12 hours a month, roughly, just for being on a shift where you have to share a computer with another individual. And the full-time guys, every time something breaks on their computer, they come and pilfer parts from your pods, from your workstations. And you got to share a headset with a guy who has the constant friggin' ear infections, so therefore you get ear infections, and then you got to spend your hard-earned money on antibiotics all the freaking time. Yeah, I started disinfecting the headset because getting kind of sick and tired of that nonsense. So basically what I'm saying is times are tough. So what I've done was, one of the newbies who came to after hours, he can't work the night shift. He just can't do it. He's not wired that way. He can't stay up that late. Apparently he tried it the one night and kind of fell asleep at work. And the boss came in the morning and kind of saw him, and he explained, he's like, I can't work these shifts. Like, I physically can't stay awake at night. I love them. I love the night shifts. It's easy. There's next to no calls coming in. All you're doing is handling tasks that were delivered on the day that nobody else could complete. So you just pick away at them at night. It's a good job. It's a good time. So what I've done is I've taken all of his night shifts. Normally what happens is on these 3 to 11 shifts, I work Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Saturday's a 12-hour shift, so you work 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Sunday I'm off, and then I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I'm off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What I've done was I've taken his Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So now I work this week coming up. I'm off today, tomorrow, and then Wednesday. Then I go in Thursday for 11. So I work Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Then I'm off Sunday. Then I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I'm working his Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then after Sunday, I get home at 7 a.m. I go to bed real quick, wake up at 3 p.m. or wake up at like 1 p.m. go back into work for 3 p.m. and then work 3 p.m. to 11. Now, it's going to be pretty intense, but seeing how I'm not vlogging every day, I can actually do this and it won't kill me. And then after we're done this whole stretch, after we're done this whole stretch, it's friggin' sweet because it's Christmas. it's Christmas. Like, I work this week. I get Sunday off, and then I work that huge stretch from Monday to Friday, like the whole big run. And then I'm off the following Saturday and Sunday, and the Sunday is Christmas Eve, and then we do Christmas at my parents' house. Then I'm back on days, and then it's New Year's. And I have New Year's Eve off, but I got nothing going on. I'm basically trying to keep it cheap, people. I need money. I need to keep my truck. I really love the damn thing, and I don't want to have to surrender it. And unlike every other freaking individual on YouTube, my goodness, look at all these e-beggars out there, eh? All I see on YouTube now is people starting up patrons and GoFundMes and what's the other one that I saw? Patreon, GoFundMe. There's another one that I saw in there that people were doing, and it's like, okay, we get it. YouTube is not the way it used to be. It's no longer an environment where you can make a living. But why should people who are like me, who work, a job, and quite possibly could be living paycheck to paycheck, like I'm trying not to live like that. I'm trying to keep money in my account, but like I say, it's hemorrhaging. Why should we give us our hard-earned money? And like the way some of these people are wording it, it's so rude. It's like, like some people are like, oh, join Patreon and you get better videos and stuff. Well, why don't you just put your better videos on YouTube? Why do you have to get people to pay for that? Like, And then they make you, yeah, well, maybe you should help me out. You know, I've done so much for you. Well, no, you kind of didn't do anything for me. You made videos. I watched them. YouTube paid you big bucks over the time. I don't get it. They act like they're entitled. Like you have to help them, because if you don't, then they're going to cry or something. I don't know. Like, it's like, oh, I've done so much for you guys. I made all this video content. You should definitely give me some money. It's no, they shouldn't. They did their due diligence just by watching your videos and letting the ads play on the seasuckers, which in turn got YouTube to give you money. Nobody owes anybody anything. And lately I've found that the YouTube content creators have just become a bunch of friggin' Sallys. Like, just a bunch of dirty Sallys. Just, I can't afford anything. I can't afford to make these videos. What were you paying? 90% of the videos I've seen these guys do are like mine. You know, I don't have to pay an hourly wage to this camcorder to hold it in my hand. The only thing I'm paying for right now is the electricity to run these light bulbs behind me and the computers that are all around. But, you know, that's beside the point. It's not like I went out and bought props and stage props and rented actors to, you know, like, a lot of these videos you see on YouTube, people, don't kid yourself. There's not much money being thrown around. And a lot of the people who do throw around a lot of money, it's because they live an expensive lifestyle ever since they got the YouTube Gold. That now that YouTube changed their policies on advertising to try and basically follow the quote-unquote CRTC TV friendly. I went CRTC, people, because I'm Canadian, all right? You guys in the US, FCC. Basically, you know, advertising for safe television content. That's the whole thing. This is the reason why the TV executives, and at first I was pissed off about it, thinking, oh yeah, they're selling out to these guys. But if you think about it, the TV executives know what is good for TV. They know the rules and regulations of broadcasting on television. I myself, I don't. I just know to cut back on the swears, which you probably noticed there's not many swears in this video. And no nudity. Like, even taking your shirt off as a dude and showing your nipples, which is apparently okay. None of that, because that's also probably going to ding you. It's not rocket science, people. It's really not rocket science. But a lot of people just can't figure it out. And they get mad and they blame YouTube. And I was blaming YouTube too until, you know, I thought about it. I sat down and I thought about it, and it makes sense. Why would Colgate want a video, have an advertisement of theirs sitting on a video where it's some guy just swearing his face off, drinking beers, and I'm talking about myself here, drinking beers, swearing his face off, and getting all disgruntled, and the video just being a train wreck? They wouldn't want that. I'm sure if you ran a business and you ran ads on Google and you came across a video of two girls in a high school beating the ever-loving piss out of each other, you know, having a good old cat fight, if you will, in the schoolyard, and it's being filmed with an iPhone, and you saw the advertisement for your business rolling on this here, you'd be kind of upset to know that now your business is affiliated with high school students beating the crap out of each other in the middle of a high school parking lot or yard. So that's what I'm getting at. I can understand their logic. It makes sense. I don't understand the algorithm that reads it, because I've seen people like Cody's Lab get dinged for monetization, and literally one of the videos was he was mining ore. Like, he was physically out in his rock pit, or quarry, or whatever he calls it, and he's breaking off chunks of rock and showing you, this is stone and this is iron ore. And then he showed the separation process and how to smelt it and actually get the iron out of the rock and pour it into ingots. And it was pretty cool. But the video was demonetized because it wasn't suitable for advertisers. Cody never swears once. The video was shot in HD, it looked clean, the audio was good and crisp, and it was very informative. So I don't understand the algorithm they use to block videos. It's obviously something really, really lame and poorly coded, but once again, not my pig, not my farm, so what do you do, right? Exactly. Anyway, people, I think I might make this a two-parter, because I just going to give you a brief thing on what's going on in my life, and instead of doing that, I kind of went off on a tangent and probably just made a 20-minute video. So I'm going to cut this now. I'm going to go ahead and... holy crap, I just got to go wash my face or something because I just pulled a potato out of my eye. Anyway, besides the point. I'm going to shut this video down here, get this here card installed. I might make that into another video. I don't know. We'll see what we see. But thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you're offended by my talk of being above e-beggars and all that, I'm just sick of it, you know. You go to any channel now and it's like look at friggin' Colin Furs. Colin Furs, guys, sell out big time. Used to love his videos. The guy made like a jet-powered bicycle and a jet-powered baby carriage and made a full-size AT-AT walker from Star Wars and gave it to some kid, you know? Like, I used to love the guy. Made a Fallout bunker and stuff. And now he's dropping promos for his videos that are on YouTube Red because AdSense doesn't pay the bills. And it's like, just get a job. Just be like every other 90% of the humans on the planet and get a job that pays the bills. And treat YouTube exactly how it should have been treated since day one. As a freaking hobby. That's what YouTube is. It's a hobby. You get to upload videos. People get to watch your videos, comment on your videos. You meet new people. Sure, you come across a bunch of idiots sometimes. You know, they call themselves trolls. But, you know, we'll just follow the chat roulette logic. You know, once you weed through all the dicks, there's some nice people out there. So, it's just... I don't know. Some people want to turn it into a job and a business, and I think it's the worst platform to do that on for one reason. There's no one to talk to when the shit hits the fan. And that's the problem with this with the ads right now. Everybody's freaking out. Everybody's making all these like these stupid videos talking about tricking the algorithm. Like, give your balls a tug. Like, come on. What's the matter with you? Tricking the algorithm? You know how stupid you sound? My goodness. But anyway, I just, see, I'm just going on. I pick this damn thing up and I just start gabbing and I just can't shut up. I'm going to shut her down here, people. If you are offended, then maybe it's because you're one of them. I don't know. Maybe you're an e-beggar. Who knows? But honestly, the real solution is get a job and earn your money. Because quit expecting handouts from people. Other people are struggling too. And it's ignorant to beg for money. Unless you absolutely need it. You know. Making payments on your Porsche that you bought with YouTube money. That's not a necessity. You know. Do like me. Work more hours. Get another job. Make your payments. Quit begging other people who are struggling for money. Alright? That's what I'm trying to get at here. It's not right. It ain't right, it ain't tight. Anyway. Thanks for watching. And, what can I say? I guess I can finally say this again, eh? If you enjoyed the video, people, give her a like. If you didn't, give her a dislike. See, VidMe was upvoting. That was stupid. And until next time, I can say this again too. Keep on vlogging.